All right, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Tonight is Tuesday, June. I almost said January, but it's way too hot to be January, June 16th of 2015. Tonight we're talking about 5 success strategies for reaching $1,000 party. And we were just talking a moment ago about the importance of hostess coaching and how the lifeblood of our business really is happy hostesses. It's relationships with hostesses who've had a great experience in planning and executing their parties. And of course, all the other things that go along with it, providing good customer service and all those kinds of things. But there are a few skill sets that we can learn that will help those parties to be far more successful. We learned recently that our national average guest order per guest order is $101, which is really remarkable when you think about it. And I think a lot of that is due to our guest special. When you buy $100, the next piece is 30% off. And I think that really is a huge benefit to our business and to our hostesses, because it does get women thinking about who can they purchase a gift for, things like that. It isn't just about themselves, and we help them to think strategically about their buying. But the reality is, if we know that $101 is our guest average, if we can find a way to get 10 guests or 10 orders for that hostess, that she will hit $1,000 in sales, and that's where we max out the Host Rewards program for her. That is our obligation to her, is to do as much as we can to help her do that. So tonight we're going to talk about 5 things to make that happen. I'm going to give you 4 that I believe are really critical. There are lots of others, but these are the 4 non-negotiables in my opinion. And then I'm going to leave it open to all of you to tell me what you think a 5th one might be. So let me dive in. So the first one has to do with how many people to invite. We want to invite 35 to 40 people. Statistically, we find that that's a good number because it's manageable. It's not too small. It's not too large, sort of like Goldilocks. And if we invite 137 people on Facebook to come to our open house, we will get 1 or 2. If we invite 35 to 40 people and we do all of the other steps involved, we will have a very solid attendance. 35 to 40 people, they will know that they have been hand chosen from among all the friends that she could have invited. And not only that, it's easy to communicate with 35 to 40 people, or easier than with 137. The other problem is that when I get invited to a party with that 137 other people have invited to, I know that I wasn't hand chosen, and I'm not going to take it very seriously unless it's something really unusual that really catches my interest. But everyone is very busy, and people have to pick and choose what they spend their time on. So invite 35 to 40. The second component is find 2 ways to invite them. We are learning that good old snail mail is actually not dead. It's not a bad idea. It is actually a really good idea. People like to have paper in their hands because that is special. If I get a flyer in the mail from a friend, I take it seriously because it's so different from anything else that I get these days that it stands out. So let's find a way to help the hostess stand out. Maybe we create a flyer for her if that's not something that she's good at doing. Maybe we create a red stamp and we turn it into a half-sheet flyer that she can fold over, tape, or put a little sticker on to seal, and that she puts in the mail to her 35 or 40 friends. It is old school, but honestly, it helps people to know that they were thought of and that they are truly invited. They aren't just one of a whole lot of people. And people remember what stands out to them. Make it something that stands out. So don't discount the idea of something in the snail mail. Our company also provides postcards. Honestly, I can't remember the last time somebody sent me a postcard for one of the direct sales parties. So use the postcards that the company creates for us too, because that is a great way of inviting. But we want to find at least one other way, maybe 2 other ways. What are some of the ways that people can invite? Let's say they choose a postcard or flyer, but maybe they also choose to invite those 35 to 40 using our system Evite. Or maybe they use an email that they create for all 35 or 40. Or maybe they do individual text messages. Maybe it's a Facebook event. Maybe it's Facebook messages. It could be whatever they want it to be. It could be a series of things. But you need to have at least 2. Why is that? They need to see the message in different places. And maybe you have the wrong email address for them, but if they get the postcard, they'll know to come. Or maybe maybe their phone died and they have a whole new phone number and your text messages aren't even going through. But if they get an email, they'll know about the party. So it's important to be, I missed the word on the last call. Liz, what's the word? Do something about doing it twice. Oh, she's muted. Oh, sorry, Liz. Hold on. Let me unmute you. Unmute. What's the word?
I was like, I'm sorry, I was paying attention to something else. You were saying, you said coup de grace, and then you said something else.
Right. So what I was trying to say was, when you do something in 2 different ways, you're being not duplicatable, but there's a all right, this is our quiz for tonight.
All
right, you can go back. Okay, we will think of it, but you're a wordsmith and you will think of it. Okay, the third component is be sure to connect with them 5 times using those 2 or 3 methods. And I've had so many people say, oh, I don't want to pester my friends. I'm just going to invite them once, and if they want to come, they'll come. Holy camole, I got to tell you, that is a recipe for success. And not. What's going to happen is they will see it and forget all about it in the middle of the 500 other emails that they're going to get and the text messages and everything else that they're going to get between then and the time of the party. So every now and again, you'll get somebody who is really great at that, and they immediately catch it. They immediately say yes or no, and they'll have it on their calendar instantly. That is not most of reality, and that is not most women that I know. And so connect with them 5 times. The first time you connect with them, they'll be reading it at a stoplight, and they'll be thinking, gosh, I wonder if I'm available that night. I would love to go to that Swarovski jewelry party. Second time, but then the light turns green. Second time, maybe they're in a business meeting and they get another reminder about it, and they think, oh, I've got to check the calendar. I wonder if my boyfriend can, or if can watch the dog, or I need a babysitter for the children, or maybe we have something to do that night. Is there a soccer game? They have to check their calendar. So that takes a whole other thing. And if they got their hands full or they're tied up with something else when they see it the second time, it's going to be the third time that you hit them up. Now, here's what happens though. People will say no right away. They know if they're busy next Friday night. They already know if they have a date. They already know if their kids have a basketball game. They already know if they're going to be away. And so the no's often come as one big fat, raft of no. So we have to help our hostesses to see that clearly and not be dismayed when the no's come in fast and furious. The yeses just don't know if they're available. I mean, honestly, sometimes they're sort of waiting for other people, or other opportunities to come along, and then they sort of pick the best scenario for that evening because everyone's busy and they have to pick and choose, and that's understandable. Connect with them 5 times. It just simply is the way to make sure that you get an answer from most of them. Number 4 is one day before, text your yeses or call them to do something. Maybe to ask them to wear an open neckline, ask them to park in the court, suggest that they bring a friend, ask them if they were like red or white, whatever it is, to come 5 minutes early to help you, whatever it is. But reach out to all of those yeses, and it really is just like the private little reminder at the last minute. The other part of that, number 4, is to reach out to the 5 or 10 that you haven't heard from yet to make sure that they did hear about it, because there will be some that you won't hear from for one reason or another. Maybe they never even saw it. Maybe they just got really super busy. They've been traveling. Crazy stuff has been happening. They didn't get the postcard and they only got 2 of your text messages, whatever it is. Reach out to the 5 or so that you really want to have there in particular. The ones that you were surprised you didn't hear from, the ones who you really think would love the jewelry. Reach out to them directly and just say something sweet like, I just want to make sure you know that I'm having a party with Swarovski's new line tomorrow night. I thought of you, and there's some things that I think you would really love. I hope you can make it. It's at 7. So they can make it personal. All right, so those are the 4 ways to invite. The nice thing is that for the most part, especially if that group of 35 or 40, and I forgot to say this in the very first component, it needs to be from different circles of friends. I did a couple of parties with this one gal, and I just love her. She's in the industry, in sort of a different segment of it, and she could never get good attendance. And then I finally realized why. She was inviting only from one circle of friends. And the 2 times that we did a party, she there was a PTO meeting that she didn't know was going to happen, or there was something that she didn't know was going to happen. This last time, she invited from several circles of friends, 35 to 40 people. She did everything right. She found 2 ways to invite them. She connected with them 5 times. We planned this party in 7 days. No lie, we did the 5 + 5 + 5 = 400 method. And do you know she hit $1,000 in sales? She did it. We had 10 orders, and the philosophy worked beautifully, but she invited from all these different circles that she knew, from church and neighbors and old job, new job, everything else. So it really does work. But we just have to find a way to help them diagnose this and to do it correctly. Okay, so those are the 4 ways. You tell me, what would you say would be your next, if you could choose one more thing, what would it be to offer to the group for to reach $1,000 party? It could be beforehand or at the party.
Having the hostess make a wish list so they visualize what they want. And so then she's looking at it and she's like, oh, I want $5,000 worth of jewelry. I've got to have a party every month, and each of my parties has to hit $1,000 in order to do this.
Right.
Or, but making them want it, showing them what they can get by creating that visual.
Good.
For them, I think helps.
Love it. I totally agree. That's a great number 5. Who else has a number 5? What would it be? Liz, how about you? You've had some successful parties.
Yeah, I stole an idea, or I borrowed an idea from Karen up in Pennsylvania, and I think it's brilliant. She actually creates a Facebook party for each of her hostesses, and they invite people into that party, and then like 2 weeks before, start posting little questions, things for people to earn tickets, and tell them they're going to earn a raffle ticket. Never even tell them what they're earning tickets for. But people get really competitive, they get really into it, and they show up at that party, they want to get their tickets, and they're engaged because basically they've already gone to the catalog, they've already looked through everything, they're familiar with the website. Some of them know what pages things are on. I mean, it's crazy. So, when the people come prepared, they already know what they want to get. They're going to place bigger orders.
Wow, that's brilliant. I've never heard of that exact.
Yeah, having a lot of luck with it, actually.
I love that idea. I think that's great. Wow. Maybe we can get her to do a training on that sometime soon.
Honestly, she's amazing. She does bingo. She does bingos as well at her party. She's been just having $1,000 party after $1,000 party.
Wow.
So impressive.
Okay, we need to have her do a training one on Tuesday night to explain how she does all that. That's wonderful. Good. Thanks for sharing that. What else?
It's hard to do it. Huh? You got over.
What else? What other 5th idea would be out there? You can speak up now if you have a good idea. What's a good hostess coaching tip?
What? Isn't it what?
Anybody else? Kristen, how about you? I know you're on hold. I mean, you're on mute. Kristen, message. Now you're off mute. But I can't hear you. Okay. Any others?
Hey, Betsy.
I can hear you.
This is Kathy Walker. So the good old thing about if people aren't going to be able to come, to make sure that they know that they can order online under the party.
I love that idea. What do you think is the best way to communicate that to them?
Just to tell your hostess that if people are saying no, just to don't saying, oh, I'm sorry, we're going to miss you, but give them that additional opportunity that they can order online, because you don't want them to miss out.
Okay, great. That's great. I like it. Good. So giving the hostess the verbiage and the tools to know what to say when she gets no's.
Right.
Yeah, that's terrific. I like that a lot. Any others? Any other last ideas? I said that we would keep this one short. What other suggestions do we have?
I think that can go also into having them collect outside orders before the party, because the outside orders, like you say, really build the amount of our party sales. So by having them motivated to collect outside orders and by sharing the catalogs with friends, family, neighbors, so on and so forth beforehand will really help.
Do you ever incentivize the hostess for outside orders ahead of time?
Depends on what month it is. In June, I sure do.
Definitely.
In November, probably not.
Right. Right, exactly. Okay, good. Any other comments? Kristen? You said your phone was raised. What does that mean? It was like she was raising her hand. Were you raising your hand? I can't hear her. I think she's trying to talk to us. But
I typed it all on my phone while we called, so I have it all listed.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Well, great call, great ideas and suggestions. And hopefully this will be, the simpler that we can keep this, the easier it'll be to remember to do these for each hostess. I think the key is keeping it simple, succinct, and duplicatable. It is work for her, but the reality is it's not a lot of work. Maybe it's an hour spread out over time for her to do this, but her rewards are tremendous. And to your point, Lindsay, I think for her to be tied into what it is that she's after makes all the difference too. Any other last thoughts before we say goodnight?
I again, Kathy Walker, I have a thought, because I really like the idea. I think it was Liz who said that there was somebody who did set up a Facebook, I guess it's a group that you would set up, and set that up, and then you as the consultant can make comments on the group. You can kind of hope, like do these things. You can, well, I'm trying to think now.
We actually do events. We do events, not groups. It's an actual Facebook event where you invite people, and you just keep tagging them, because they won't see it. If they don't see it the first time, you make sure the hostess tags them every time you post. There's little ways to kind of get people to know it's there.
Okay.
Right in every time I post. Again, you can order online here, and but you always, cute little questions or trivia, or like there's 5 things in the book that are $37. Name one for 5 tickets. So it gives 5 people a chance.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's really great. And it gets them into the catalog, which is important.
Yeah. And, unscramble words, there's different names you unscramble, or, name this piece. And what's really funny is when you don't give them any guidance and you say, name this piece, people will create names. And I had that happen a few times where, you're kind of like, well, that's a great answer. But the answer I'm looking for is actually found in, this website. Maybe you can find it here.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, just get creative and crazy with it. Make sure you post a photo every time, and mention that you have a special event page. And, I link back to the event page probably every couple of posts. I'll say, make sure you haven't missed, like Mary won, got the 5 tickets from this question, but we still have some other open questions that haven't been answered. Check out the full event page at this link, scroll down for other ways you can win, and just keep every day you put something different on, and people will be on there waiting for you,
That's really cute.
Yeah, it works. I find that it works well.
I'm still trying to figure out on Facebook the difference between setting up a group and setting up an event. So that's probably a whole other discussion.
I was going to say that's a whole other training. An event is something that takes place at a specific point in time and then goes away. A group is there forever. unless you make it go away.
Oh,
So
okay.
events are time dependent, and they'll show up. It shows up in the calendar on Facebook. So it'll show up. You have a little calendar icon on the top left, and I'm actually motioning there with my hand. But it's on the top left of the page. It looks like a little calendar. It'll say events, and you can click on that, and it'll show all your upcoming events. Right? But then if somebody responds yes or maybe, all your posts will show up in their timeline.
Okay.
I think Facebook recently changed the algorithm, so if you're invited, it may show up in the timeline. But that's why typically, because it didn't used to. It's why we typically tag people, because that way they know that the post exists. There's little tips and tricks to kind of get the engagement going, and it just takes practice.
Okay. I think there does need to be a training on this. This is great.
And Kristen texted me hers because her phone isn't working.
Okay.
Kristen gives her hostesses a few pieces in a glam bag, and she has her hostesses wear the jewelry around to work, etc., and gets her friends really excited and interested in the jewelry when they get to see it, which is awesome. She said, just a few pieces, but where an extra ice bracelet you might have, or a necklace that you can spare makes you like, ooh, that sparkle.
I like that.
Yes, that's awesome, Kristen. Thanks for telling us.
Good. Thanks, Kristen. All right, ladies. Well, I think that's good for tonight. Thanks for all the great suggestions. I hope you all, whoops, let me do a little mute here. There we go. Let's go get them. And I think with some great bitches, we just want to be duplicatable. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. If we just keep things simple, learn a few new skills every now and again, I think we can have some really great parties for our hostesses and make sure that they get all the jewelry that they want. What I love is that the bigger the party, the more jewelry she owns, and the more often she'll be wearing Touchstone crystal, the more often her friends see it, the more friends of hers who are actually wearing it, and that's how it spreads. The bigger the parties, the better as you grow your own business and as we grow our company. So have a great night, everyone. I sure appreciate y'all being on, and we'll look forward to talking to you all tomorrow.